All right, yo, what up? Welcome and welcome back to A Stiff Receipt. We've got normally I would say we got some wild news, but I think this time we got some mild news.
Mild is a good way to put it.
Really nothing like super. You know, it's kind of funny thinking about it now because a lot of the news that I've got for this week was really only exciting when it coincided with last week's Raw and Vince, you know, being at the show.
Yeah.
And it's like now that we've had two shows where he's like, you know, not really done anything, like a lot of this news isn't as big of a deal, you know? But
yeah, it was only really a big deal when you were like, is this whole thing gonna blow up? Or is it gonna implode?
Right.
Are we never gonna get this ever again?
You know,
it doesn't quite look that way, but it didn't look
let me
amazing.
tell you, like, you know, this is like the first time in years and years and years that I have like watched wrestling like regularly, and I've been keeping up with it. And I still like that Sunday night and then Monday Night Raw, just like that. After all that Tuesday, dude, I just felt devastated, like deflated. Like my whole week was ruined. It was so shit.
That week was interesting because it was just so much on top of itself. It's like you got to like this super fucking height at the top of WrestleMania, like the peak, and it immediately crashed completely to the bottom. And you thought that's like, oh well, they're gonna figure something out on Raw. I'm sure it's fine.
Yeah, they'll fix it on Raw.
And then Raw came, and you're like, what is this? It got worse. Who did this to you? Come to find out, well, we know. But also, we rolled through last SmackDown relatively pain-free.
Yeah, SmackDown was good.
Raw.
Like, I would say it was solid. Like it wasn't like crazy noteworthy episode of SmackDown by any means, but it felt like it's back to where we were, but like before WrestleMania.
It's not one of those banger episodes where you're like, damn, everything on this episode was really good. It was just like an episode, which is fine. That's at least a baseline that we're establishing here. Yeah. But like, we've now hit the next Raw. And it's like, okay, everything seems to be back to where it is.
That was the thing,
which makes me even more paranoid at this point.
Well, that was the thing that was weird about Raw, right? Like immediately as Raw was getting going, and then they start talking about like all these weird matches like Bobby Lashley and Bronson Reed and Rey Mysterio and Finn Balor. And like, okay, well, like that's weird booking, but like it doesn't feel like Vince booking. Like he wouldn't book those matches. Like these are actually like good matches, but very random. And then like they were talking about a lot of last minute changes has been made to the show, and everybody's like, what the fuck? Like, is this happening again? Like really? But apparently there was some major travel issues, and that is what caused the changes last Monday, which would make sense. They didn't talk. I think Corey Graves mentioned it, and like some, news outlets talked about it, but they didn't talk about like exactly what the deal was. And then until like, I think it was like yesterday or the day before, it was yesterday. The day before was Monday.
I was gonna say.
And so apparently, I guess it makes sense. There's a lot of storms and shit down in Orlando, and that's where the majority of the talent is coming from. So,
you mean the world known for the one spot in the world known for hurricanes?
Right.
A bunch of storms and hurricanes. Holy shit.
Yeah, so
let me stop the freaking presses here.
This is the worst part, right? So it's Sami Zayn, Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, Damian Priest, the Street Profits, and Matt Riddle. We're all a part of that. Which
most of the company, because most of the company lives in Florida.
This is the shit part, right? So they all get on this flight. It's so delayed. They finally get on their flight, cross the whole fucking country, cross-country flight from Florida to freaking was it Portland? Oh no, they were in Seattle. From literally Florida to Washington, one corner to the other. You know, and this
That's
flight
big-ass
all the way
flight.
across the country, just for them to get there too late, and then they immediately all had to get on a cross-country flight all the way back home, like just right after.
Fuck that.
You know what fucking shit that is? I mean, like, it sucks, but like, you know, that's. I mean, what else do you do? Like, the show's already going on. Things have already changed. Like, I don't know what else you could do. You know, they kind of, as I said, Sami Zayn and Matt Riddle, they kind of used there towards the end to do that, like, run-out segment. But
Yeah.
the rest of those dudes didn't get used at all. They just went all the way back home. Like, how long does a flight from Florida to Washington take? I wonder.
I don't know.
Florida to Washington. Hours. Let's see. Florida to Washington is only 2 hours and 7 minutes? That doesn't sound right. I figured it'd be a little longer than that.
Orlando, which Washington?
I assume the
Sir.
only Washington.
There's
do you
two
mean?
Washingtons, dumbass.
You mean
live
Washington,
in the-
D.C.?
Yes!
That doesn't
Christ.
count. This is just Washington.
No, I said, what? Okay, then put a city. You have to do that. So Orlando to Seattle.
I feel like that's too.
And guess how long that is?
I feel like that's too, like, specific.
No, it's not, because that's 8 hours. Non-stop. That's with one stop. It's about a 6 hour
I guess
flight.
that's fair. You can book the flights this way. I didn't even think that would have been a smarter idea.
You just put Washington and it gave you Washington D.C. You're like 2
I was already
hours.
saying
That doesn't
2
seem
hours.
right.
That didn't make any fucking sense.
No, it didn't. That was hilarious. I was
Okay,
like, wait, no.
So 6
wait.
hours. That's still okay. So I mean, 12 hours of flight in one day. That would fucking blow ass.
No, I would find, let's just say, I would find a rope and a dramatic tree, and that's all I would do. Instead, I would just not do it. It's bad.
Like,
Fuck
I
that.
guarantee you that's
I'd
probably
quit.
the
I'd be like,
majority of
listen,
them.
fire me. Fire me. I don't care.
I mean, like, like Sammy and Matt Riddle were used very briefly. I mean, so I guess that's something, but I mean, I guess there's always the
Yes.
option of, like, you know, getting a hotel and, like, staying the night and then flying out the next day, I would assume, but God, 12 hours. Fuck that. Fuck all that. But,
Yeah, no gracias.
one weird thing that I did see was the Miz and Riddle was supposed to be a thing on Raw, and which was weird, honestly, but that got pulled, and I assumed it was because of the travel delays or whatever, but it actually wasn't. It was actually pulled before that. It's like they even realized that it was a very weird match, I guess.
Yeah, it was an odd match. That was odd. But, I mean, whatever.
I think that's all. That's what the Miz is. He's just the guy. It's just like, all right, well, this person needs a match. We'll just throw him in a match. Like,
have you ever heard of the? They say it's like talking down to somebody, but it's really kind of not. They call somebody a good hand. You ever heard somebody say that for a wrestler?
yeah.
Oh, he's a good hand.
Mm-hmm.
That just means he's a good guy on the card that doesn't go straight to the top.
Right.
Funny thing about that is Miz used to be able to put him right at the top.
Yeah.
But he's older. So what you do is
Right,
you use him
like,
exactly like
he's
you're doing.
done
You
his
put him
peak.
mid card and he's a
He's
gatekeeper.
perfect. He's the exact position that he should be in.
Exactly. He's gatekeeping. He still take him seriously. He can challenge for something. He may not win it, but he'll challenge, and that at least looks good, and it keeps him looking like the Miz, and the Miz can continue to walk around being a complete asshole like the Miz does.
You remember when it just seems like a brief flash in time now. Remember fucking the Miz and Tommaso Ciampa were a tag team. What happened to that? Where did that go?
I don't know.
It was such a brief thing, and then remember they had like matching ring gear and jackets and shit.
Is Ciampa hurt right now?
I don't know. That's actually a good question. Maybe he is, because he's just been gone.
Because I ain't seen his pasta eating ass in a while, so. I don't know.
Okay, it actually does look like he has some kind of issue
That's
right
what I
now.
thought. I thought there was a reason that he wasn't there, but then everybody just like, what's a champa? What the fuck are you talking
Okay,
about?
yeah. He underwent surgery to repair a hip injury. Okay,
Oh,
that
okay.
makes more sense. Because
I remember
I found
that,
it odd that
though.
like they put him on the main roster. He was doing some shit with the Miz, and then he was just gone. Yeah, I
it
don't.
was just like,
didn't remember ever hearing anything about an injury.
yeah, because it was fun, because it was Tommaso Ciampa and the
Dexter
Miz
Loomis
and Dexter Loomis,
Yeah,
and you
yeah.
put Dexter Loomis in anything, and I'm like, I'm in. Let's do this. That's why I was okay with Indy Hartwell winning at the last pay-per-view for, or
Yeah.
live event or whatever for NXT, because she was helped to the top of the ladder by Dexter Loomis.
Yeah.
He crawled out from under the ring. It was fucking great.
But so last week's Raw sucked. This week's Raw was all right, given the weird changes that had to be made due to all the travel shit. Last SmackDown, as I said, when we did the Vince McMahon episode of the podcast last week. I'm like, SmackDown is the ultimate test. If we got to make it to SmackDown, and if SmackDown ends up being a piece of shit, then we know it's all over, right? And luckily,
It's true.
Luckily, that little bit of hope that I held out for like Vince not going to Portland for SmackDown actually ended
Is
up
still
happening.
completely misguided, but it worked out this time. So, I don't.
We did it.
I don't
Reddit. I
trust
mean, we didn't do
anything.
anything, but
We
we're gonna pretend like
no.
something was done. We're gonna pretend like the
Somebody-
internet had all of the say in making this happen.
You know what? Somebody did something somewhere, and I'm not sure what it is. So we'll just go with that. But, no, it was all right. It just was weird, and I just don't know. I'm so just paranoid about the whole thing. It's like, when's Vince finally going, well, I'm doing it? But apparently he's supposed to get majority vote taken away from him soon.
So the thing, so Vince has apparently still been like reviewing things remotely, right? Creatively, but hasn't been doing any like major changes. Before I get into that, there was two things of note from SmackDown. The first thing was Triple H came out there to give a speech again, and like at that point, dude, I was fully expecting him to come out there and be like, "Fuck this shit, I quit. Fuck this, I'm done." But instead, he came out there and announced a fucking draft, and I'm all for it.
Now, forever, together. It's not.
Are you
Save me.
ready for me to leave? I'm out of here. Bye.
Somebody help me. He beats me in this house. It's just like I don't know what's going on and what to like think. Because the whole time I'm like, are you being held captive? The fuck is this shit, dude? Because it's just so, I don't know.
But Triple H came out there and announced the draft. I feel like the draft is a controversial thing. I feel like there's a lot of people that didn't like the draft because realistically it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. But I fucking loved the draft. It was when I was a kid, draft season was the best shit, dude. I got so hyped for draft, and now that Triple H is running things, I bet he could make the draft wonderful.
No, we can't.
Why?
It's logistically impossible to do the draft now.
Well,
Properly.
I know that, but like the draft itself, I like the draft.
Oh, the draft could be fun for the night, but the actual point of it is
No, the
pointless
point of the draft doesn't make any sense. That's what I'm saying. Like the
Because-
outcome doesn't really matter, but
Because what are you going to do? Are you going to deprive one of the other
Right.
TV channels that you
That's-
have a license with or a contract with of your biggest stars in the company?
well,
No. So
right.
the ones at the top are going to go back and forth anyways. So what are
Mhm.
you doing? You're fighting over NXT call-ups and the fucking lower card? This is stupid.
I mean, like What I hope is like
Roman
I
Reigns
don't
is on SmackDown because Disney paid us the most.
like
Yeah, but he's also on Raw every fucking week. So
yeah,
what's
I
it
mean
matter?
all of that's the thing with the draft. Like if they did the draft, that would make them it would make the most sense for them to finally like, all right, well we're gonna start doing the shows the way they are after that point. But how you gonna do that when the world champions over on SmackDown and the both sets of tag titles are on Raw or Smack whatever? I think Kevin Owens is on Raw and then Sami Zayn was on SmackDown and like now they're both everywhere. See, we need to figure this shit out. They need to get this shit figured out.
They don't. They need to get rid of the fucking draft and the brand split. It's stupid. You just have two different shows on
like
two
the
different
brand
areas.
split. I don't.
The brand
My
split
thing
is retarded.
you do one or the other. You don't half-ass both at the same time.
Yeah, okay, true, but that's where we're at. And the whole
I
thing
know.
is logistically, you're not going to be able to do a brand split. That's just purely impossible. I don't care what anybody thinks. Like, it's dumb to continue to try. It's stupid because the whole point is you have these sets of people here and these sets of people here. They're two separate entities, and now they share a pay-per-view, but they don't really cross over unless it's really important for like WrestleMania and shit. But like now it's just like, well, fuck it. USA wanted to pop a rating, so Cody, Bloodline, Sammy, and yeah, fuck it, you two, y'all go over there.
Yeah.
Just go over, pop a rating. That's it. No reason.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Roman owns both belts. Sammy and Kevin own both belts. What's the fucking point? It doesn't matter. Just don't do it. Like the whole thought process behind the draft is great when it worked. When you didn't have to worry about
Right.
USA versus Fox. Now it was just USA, or I mean, fuck Spike. What are they gonna do? Like when they were on Spike for a minute, what's Spike really gonna do?
When they were on
Are you really gonna get fucking
Spike.
pissed? You know what you can do? It's like, fine, I'll go to TNT at this point. Fuck off, Spike, and they'll be like, fine.
Well,
I guess I'll pay. It's fine.
If anything, like if any, like, you know, whatever, like the big dudes are gonna stay where they're fucking at, and they're gonna keep going back and forth, and it is what it is. But what they could do great with the draft is using it for the NXT call-ups and shit like that. I think that would be like an exciting way to.
If we're saying exclusively that hey, lower mid card and call-ups, you guys are exclusive to a brand, try and get you started, I'm cool with that. If you say that.
Right.
But what you're saying then is we're doing all this draft nonsense and really it doesn't affect the guys you give a shit about.
Well, I mean,
it really just affects these guys that you will give a shit about, but not right now.
It's just, I don't know. It's exciting. I don't give a shit if it doesn't amount to anything. But like, and it's also a way for them to like. It's a good way for them to announce NXT call-ups. It's a good way for them to announce people returning, and it's shit like that. As far as like the big dudes, like that shit doesn't fucking matter. Like and if anything, they'll do exactly what they used to back in the day with John Cena. Like he would be on Raw, and then it'd come up like, oh my god, John Cena's been drafted to SmackDown, and then like 5 minutes later, it's like, oh my god, Raw redrafted John Cena back to Raw. It's like, oh, so you just wasted that whole segment of my life. Thank you, I appreciate it.
Yeah, that's another thing. It's always something fucking. It's always fucking something with this fucking company. I swear to God. It's, you know what it is? It's always something with this fucking industry. It's full of a bunch of fucking carnies. It's just, it's so bad and annoying. There's always some stupid shit to everything that just fucks it all up.
Talking of,
and like
of drafts, like
it's
sports
just
drafts,
annoying though.
Sports drafts in general. I don't know how any of that shit works. If somebody picks somebody, can you just steal them from the person who just picked them?
No!
I don't think it works like that, right?
No, you have to. Okay, so when you do a draft,
could you imagine?
You literally can trade people away to get extra picks.
Yeah.
So if you have somebody that they want on someone else's team, but they're a shitty team and they have a quicker draft pick to get a better guy.
Yeah.
You can trade for that for somebody that they want or a bunch of personnel they may need.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, a bunch of lower guys. You can't steal somebody. You can trade for that person. Listen, we'll give you our next 4 draft picks for that fucking guy.
That'd be
That's
funny
not,
as shit.
that's not how that. Do you know the violence that would happen at
it'd
an
be so
NFL
violent.
draft?
People would.
Are
There would
you
be people
serious?
die.
There would just
so
there
much
would
death.
just be. Oh my God! They drafted the quarterback for the Alabama Rolling or the Crimson Tide. Oh my God! The Seahawks stole it. Oh my God! The Seattle Seahawks owner is dead by gunshot. That's what would happen.
Maybe they're onto something. Maybe all these other sports, they also need to think a little bit like a carny. That would make things a little more exciting.
That would make everything better. That would actually make everything better. I would watch the NBA.
Oh
I'd watch the NFL, and I hate both of those.
Yeah, we need more carny shit in the NFL and in NBA.
Listen, if you're gonna sell me a product, sell me a fucking product, buddy. Sell me some kayfabe. I want to see it. That means NFL turns into fucking Blitz, the league. That's all I care about,
Blitz
and
the
that's
league.
all that matters.
Let's go. That's what we need, dude. I'd watch every episode of all football games ever if it was Blitz the league.
I would just watch it. I'd just be like, oh, that guy's gonna break a leg.
Fighting should be encouraged.
Snap. Oh yeah,
you should be allowed to suplex people in the field, dude. That's fucking that's sports entertainment right there.
I think that the only wide receiver patterns should be ones that cross directly through the linebackers, so that when they catch the ball, they're not looking at the 250-pound man running a 4.40 directly at them, because that's when you're gonna get the ones where you go, well, he's having a seizure. Somebody might want to do something about that. Cart him off the field or something. All right, huddle up. Next play.
Dude, the only football game, like I've had like a couple over the years, and I've played some.
Games, but
the one that I definitely played the most was Blitz the League.
Blitz the League.
It was the shit.
It was any given Sunday, the game is what it was, and it was awesome, and it was fucking great. And I went, which one of you psychos went, hey, you know that really stupid arcade game that we had with NFL teams? Let's get the NFL team, get rid of them, and just make it into a movie.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we did that already. Okay, we'll make it the movie into a video game and call it something else. I don't know, man.
Oh God!
Good game, though.
Why don't we have a new Blitz the League? Did they ever make more than one of those?
No, because nobody played the original Blitz the League.
I did, and I'm the only people that matter. So they should make another one.
Well, I mean, that's your whole persona on streams. Oh yeah.
Oh God. Well, anyways, back to SmackDown. So, as I said, like we had. The morale that last Monday after WrestleMania, all-time low. Morale, SmackDown, at least is from what's reported, morale was drastically better on SmackDown. And there was some stuff that was happening like after that Raw. There was announced, it was reported that there's a major WWE star that is unhappy. And that was, I think this was building up before Raw, but that just kind of came out with that. And then conveniently, that next SmackDown, who's cut from the show? Drew McIntyre. So, I mean, Drew McIntyre, he's a major star for sure. He was cut from the show and an autograph signing. And it was also reported a few weeks ago that his contract is coming up soon. So, nobody has said that it's Drew, but, it sure as fuck sounds like it's Drew, you know?
All signs point to Drew.
And there was...
Sucks, but...
And there's a whole mess of things, right? All signs point to it being Drew McIntyre, but then afterwards... actually, I think it was before this. Before this, there was a report. He was talking about him and WWE. They haven't come on with a deal yet, And apparently it's not, it's both regarding his creative and money. It's the whole deal. Like, he's apparently unhappy with both. And it is, I guess, reported now that he has 9 months left on his contract before it's done. So, like, 9 months is a plenty of time for, I imagine, them to work something out. I don't imagine they would let Drew go. But another thing that came from all that as well is that the reason that Drew was actually removed from the show and the autograph signing because of a health issue. So it wasn't even related to any of this. But it's apparently also true. So it's like, what the like, what are you supposed to believe at this point?
It doesn't matter. You're not supposed to believe anything. You're just supposed to wait and watch until something happens.
Right.
Like, that's literally all I've ever done when it comes to these people. Because,
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, Uncle Dave is Uncle Dave.
They're all
He is what he is.
a bunch of
Fucking Ariel Awani's a
well,
fucking
that
lying
guy,
piece of shit.
that
Anyways,
guy, he doesn't
no,
count.
I won't.
We'll just pretend he doesn't exist.
Yeah, I will, because I won't say anything actionable. I don't know. I'm not an Ariel Awani fan. Let's just put it that way. That's all that needs to be said.
But
So,
I think it
it's
looks,
just-
from what I can tell, I think it was all, it's like a mixture of everything, right? I think that was just
Yeah.
a coincidence, because they did say that after that match Sunday night that they had, that's still one of the best WWE matches I've probably seen in the last 10 years. Incredible
that match was
They
fucking killer.
Apparently they did like give like Drew extra time off, because I mean, like, could you imagine how fucking sore he and everybody else
Well,
was
they
after
gave
that?
everybody else extra time. They weren't there. I don't think, were they there for SmackDown
Yeah, they were in a match.
that next Friday? Were they? Oh my God, I forgot about
it.
that.
Was the Brawling
Oh,
Brutes
that's
versus
right.
Imperium.
I completely forgot that they did that Friday.
Yeah.
That's fine. I mean, that's cool. I think he came.
So I mean,
that-
I don't.
that's what I'm
I don't
remembering.
think him being cut from anything was in regards to this contract business. I think it was just,
No, I think
You know.
he asked to go home because he was like,
because his titties
everything
were pink.
fucking hurts.
He's got some pink ass titties, and he needed to rest his titties.
Look at me. My chest is pink. That German bastard beat the shit out of me.
Oh God. So another thing, that the Drew thing was also like after Raw, like there was a lot of speculation. Another thing that was heavily speculated was Bayley, because she had a tweet, like I think it was before or during WrestleMania, I don't remember. She made some kind of tweet about saying goodbye or whatever.
It was
So
literally right after.
everybody
immediately
linked,
after.
Everybody linked that to the whole Raw situation.
Yes.
But
Yes.
it's apparently story from what people have.
Yes, it looks from what
It
I
was
mean,
just
even
had
from,
good timing. It was
It was
very
literally
interesting timing on that one, but from what I've seen everywhere, it was just storyline, and it
That's
looks like we're alluding to Damage Control breaking up, which I think is probably for the best at this point. You know, it's Triple H has done a lot of great things since he's got back, and not saying that Damage Control was bad, but it's just not. I don't think it's working.
Those three girls needed a reason to be there.
Yep.
And they needed to come back, and they needed to debut them in a big way. So debut them together, make them a faction. Great. Now, a lot of things fell by the wayside after that.
Yep.
Becky got hurt. That didn't help anything. So that
That's
whole
true.
storyline that
Actually, I
that
forgot
they were
about
supposed
that.
to do after
Yeah.
that kind of fell through. I just remember that. I was like,
Yeah.
why didn't anything happen after that? And it's like, oh, Becky was gone. She hurt her shoulder.
Yeah.
She separated her shoulder against Bianca Belair. That basically put them on hold, and they were directionless. They were just causing trouble. So there was nothing for them to do. So that kind of ruined everything
Yeah.
until Becky got back, and now we're doing stuff for WrestleMania.
It's-
But we have
They've-
there's no momentum. They just
Yeah.
stalled.
They
there's
had it was
no
just
forward momentum.
It was terrible booking, and then some of it is probably his fault, but not all of it's his fault for sure.
It was
But-
bad booking. It was how do I put this? It was an unfortunate situation that caused hasty booking
Yeah.
that ended up being bad. So that it was a whole shit show from the
I'm
beginning.
down to just leave them as a tag team and then have Bayley go on her separate way. I wouldn't care.
I think that would work.
If they split all 3 of them up, I wouldn't care either. I just want like, because I feel like Io Sky and like Dakota Kai, like they've got, like they're in a good spot right now. So it's like
I do
just
like
keep
them
as a
together. They're
tag
fun
team.
together.
Yeah.
They are fun together. It just always felt like Bailey was kind of on top of everything. That was just like, but it wasn't like she was mixed in with everything. It was just like literally taking a piece of like, you got this mixture of something and you just take something and place it on top, but it doesn't mix with it. It's just solid.
It didn't feel like, it wasn't like an evolution, right? Where like Ric Flair and Triple H were like bringing these new, you know, young guys up. This felt like Bailey and her 2 goons is what it felt like. And they can, and really it kind of works out this way if they break it up, because now they can be like, you know, they can use that to kind of turn on Bailey. So
what they did on Raw was smart, because they had her
it played into that
coming out there looking
well.
completely unenthused.
Yeah.
And then Io wins the triple threat, which, by the way, odd triple threat, but I dig it. That was a really good match. She won that. Yeah, that gives her a chance at the title, doesn't it?
Yeah, she's a number 1 contender. Like, it was, dude. I gotta say, like, Raw was everything was weird about Raw. The booking was strange.
It was
like
weird.
all of it.
It was weird, but it was good.
Like,
but it was weird.
But like, it was a good weird because they didn't have like all these big talent that were supposed to be there. We got all this other talent working together that are great that we normally don't get to see as much. Like,
absolutely.
Bobby Lashley versus Bronson Reed, dude.
That was a weird match, but
it was such
really
a weird match,
good.
but it was great, and it's a great pairing. And just the same, that women's triple threat match, like it was Io Sky, Mia Yim, and Piper Niven. Like, that's such a random group of people for like no reason, but they're all wonderful, and they put on a fantastic match. It was so good. There was actually some really neat spots in that match too.
Yeah, no, they did really good. I'm sad that Mia Yim got pinned fucking again, but you know,
that's a little unfortunate. But they did great.
They'll do something with her. It's fine. Everybody knows she's good. But no, it was a good thing. And then the after thing was kind of like randomly, like she looked very disappointed that Io won. She looked very upset that Io had just won.
Yeah,
and become number 1 contender. So that's a good setup.
Yeah. But yeah, it was weird, but it was good. So like, I don't know, just kind of worked. Sometimes these unfortunate situations just kind of work out better than what was originally planned, you know? Oh.
Yep.
All right, so now we've got some more shit about like the WWE sale and Vince McMahon. You know, everybody loves talking about Vince McMahon since he's such a great person and all.
Do they?
So, like, you know, like basically all over Twitter for like ever, people were talking about like Jay White going to WWE, Brian Cage, and like Nick Aldis was another one. Like, there was like these people that were apparently like ready to go into WWE, and it didn't happen for some reason. Well, apparently because of the sale, Vince allegedly is blocking new hires because of the sale until everything kind of is over, and the WWE sale in general has made things difficult. But now that the sale is done, I don't know if if this hiring freeze was the thing. Now that the sale is like done, I wonder if that freeze is gonna stay because Vince is just an old bitch, or if he can go back to hiring who he wants. But Brian Cage, Nick Aldis, and Jay White, those were all names that they said specifically. Like, they were, you know, WWE or Triple H in general had like he had his eye on those dudes. He really wanted them, but it looks like the reason that didn't happen was because of all the difficulty with the sale and all of that. So that's why we've ended up getting Jay White and Brian Cage signing and re-signing to AEW. Allegedly.
I was gonna say, how's that working out for you? What's Nick Aldis doing? I bet he's not holding out for too much longer.
Yeah,
he'll go somewhere, but it won't be back. I don't think it'll be back to the NWA anytime soon.
Nope, I don't think so either. but said
that's
it's
unfortunate.
from what I've read, it looks like Triple H, like he like was really looking at these dudes like specifically, like he was high on these guys. And Jay White is a weird one. Like I mean, I guess Triple H like being like wanting him that makes sense because it's Triple H. But like
Triple
he
H
doesn't seem like
for TV.
right. He doesn't seem like a WWE guy. Brian Cage, on the other hand, dude, like that guy is a WWE guy. Look at him. He's just a walking slab of meat.
That motherfucker is an entire muscle, like one
He's
muscle.
Just a walking muscle.
You know what he reminds me of? Did you ever watch Double Dragon the movie?
Double Dragon the movie. I don't think
Double
so.
Dragon. Okay, look up the character Bo Abobo.
Bo Abobo.
Yeah, it's based off the character from the video game. It's all that, but it's the character from the movie.
That's a big man.
Yeah, did you see the when he gets like he's the one that always reminds me of Brian Cage?
He looks like he's got a life vest around his neck.
Yeah, well, that's because he gets mutated. It's hilarious.
Yeah, that's 100% Brian Cage. That's him.
Yeah, it's just a whole fucking muzzle. He's like ugly, homely. Pick something up and throw it. It's fucking great. It
really does surprise me that Brian Cage stayed in AEW. I know that like they gave him the trios Ring of Honor titles, and they've been using a lot more on TV here lately. And they've got this thing going.
He's always wrestling now.
Yeah,
he's always on Ring of Honor.
So I think it seems like like Tony kind of it sounds like Tony figured some shit out to get him to stay. He didn't want him to go.
They needed more things for Swerve to start throwing at people that he didn't like, so they decided to put the embassy with his connection, whatever it is, affiliates.
Yeah,
his affiliates. So we got to watch Brian Cage toss Darby Allin into the air on the metal stage. So that was fucking great.
Yeah.
So it was cool shit. But yeah, no, I like using Brian Cage is fun. Brian Cage does the drill claw as a fucking finishing move.
Which is a great
that's
name.
That's a badass move too.
Great name.
It is a great name and a great move. It's a fucking dope finisher, and he needs to be on TV more because he is just. It's when you look at yourself and you go, "Huh, I wonder how far I can push these." Well, we'll just say vitamins. How far can I push these supplements? And he pushed them to the fucking limit, bud.
Yeah. He just does that mean I don't know that he has any body fat at all. He's just only muscle.
Got a little bit, but only because you have to. It's like he's probably like, I got 3% body fat. I'm like, I think you need 5 to survive, bud. I don't know. Are
it's
you
like,
always cold?
That reminds
me shivering at all times.
Yeah, that reminds me of Jordan Grace from Impact.
Yeah,
she is fucking jacked. Right?
Yeah,
and she's always been jacked. Well, here lately, it looks like she's been doing less wrestling and doing actual competitive bodybuilding. And
dude,
she has. Some of the latest pics, apparently, she won like fucking everything at the show. She is just god damn, dude. She could rip a person in half.
Yeah, dude.
Crazy.
She's ridiculous.
Apparently, is she dating what's his face? The short guy from Ring of Honor that got upset.
Gresham?
Yes, Jonathan Gresham. I see them. I see them in pictures a lot.
Yeah,
so
no,
I'm
they
assuming they're dating. Yeah,
they are. Yeah, dude.
It seems like he's also like the kind of he kind of gets really into the bodybuilding and shit. So it's like they make a good team.
Okay. I'd always seen her when she was just regular bulky when she was a little bit bigger.
Yeah, have you seen the bodybuilding pics?
I mean, the body was shredded and that looks great for what it is. I liked her when she was thicker, but that's just me. I mean, that is impressive. Wow.
I know. It's like
holy shit.
It's like I remember I watched that match. I think it was her and Matt Cardona.
And even if I'm not into that kind of you look at this person, you're like, damn, you could tell she's She looks strong.
Freaking
There's definition
dedicated.
that look. Yeah, it looks like somebody who's put work in. That's the thing
Yeah.
you're like, damn, you wanted to get somewhere and you did. Fuck, dude, that is awesome. Jonathan did get pissed, and I hate that because I like Jonathan Gresham.
Yeah, that is a little unfortunate.
I mean, maybe they can do something about that later.
I didn't got to
think
see
they-
much of him, unfortunately, because of all that. Because that's the only thing
Dude,
the only things I've gotten to see of him were, you know, all of that stuff that led off to him getting pissed off and all that. Which I don't blame him. The whole situation was kind of shitty, realistically.
It was. I don't think. I think it was just one of those things where it was just a shitty situation, and I hate that because I wanted him to stay in Ring of Honor and stay in AEW because he is. We talked about the octopus hold. The in WWE 2K23.
Yeah.
He does that, and he does like some ridiculous versions of that. Like the dude's got these ridiculous holds that he puts people in that are just fucking awesome looking.
Well, we're jumping into like the very small amount of AEW news. There's a few more WWE things of note. So, one of the big disappointments with WrestleMania, which actually ended up turning out to not be that bad, was Lesnar's opponent being Omos. Everybody wanted Lesnar versus Gunther. And it was like apparently like a pitch thing that didn't happen. Lesnar, he was on, I don't know whose podcast or whatever it was they were talking about. Like Lesnar said like that he actually talked about it. He would love to do a match with Gunther. Sounds like he is down. And it almost sounds like we may be getting Lesnar versus Gunther this summer at some point. And I'm here for it.
Yeah.
I am here for that.
That's fucking great. I'm all over that, dude. That's for damn sure. That'll be fun.
It would be so perfect to have Luther just combine them there. There we go. We'll make them a tag team.
Cute.
It'd be awesome to have Gunther go over Lesnar at like SummerSlam, and then end up fighting whoever for the title at WrestleMania.
Oh, it'll be Cody. It better damn well be Cody. If it's not Cody, I am going.
If it's not Cody, Cody better have had the belt before then.
Let's just say I'm going on a spree with a sharp object in the house on pillows because I'm gonna be pissed. I'm gonna go out in the woods on my land where we shoot guns, where it's made to shoot, and I'm just gonna empty every magazine that I have in this house. Just fucking mag dumping into trash out of anger. Like not even getting any enjoyment out of it. Just I'm gonna be pissed if that does not happen because that will be the okay. I'm gonna stop because I'm just gonna go on and on about this fucking past WrestleMania.
So another guy that was like expected to do shit back in WWE, the like main roster and whatnot, was Eric Young. And like you didn't hear anything else about Eric Young for like the longest time. Well, apparently his ass signed a contract in November, and nobody knows what happened. He's just gone
the whole fucking time.
They said he's
hired the whole time.
He was hired apparently November, and he's not at the shows. He's not doing anything. He's just getting paid to exist, I guess.
Yeah.
And nobody knows.
It's one of those things where you get lost in the shuffle. You're like, "What are you doing?" He goes, "I don't know." I think is his wife. Who is he married to? I want to say that he's married to somebody.
I have no idea. But I would love to see
I
him
think
back.
that's somebody you're gonna laugh at.
I remember watching Eric Young a bunch in TNA. So I would love to see him do something. It's just like, I wonder, does Triple H know that he hired him? Does he remember that he exists? Is he one day just gonna go through the papers like, oh, what about this? Oh shit, Eric, we have this guy. Where is he at? Why is he not here? But yeah, it says November 1st, re-signed, and he has not been backstage or anything since.
I forgot they were all part of Sanity in NXT. And,
Yeah, I didn't see any of the NXT.
Well,
stuff.
no, it was Nikki Cross was in it, and she's married to I'm pretty sure she's married to Killian Dane.
I have no idea who that is.
Which, well, let's just put it this way: he's a big son bitch, big Irish son bitch, and he is really good. But he got let go when Sanity did.
Yeah.
So, he was on All Elite Rampage as Big Damo, where he defeated Sean Spears on the 20th of May, 2022.
Oh, I'm look. It looks he was one of the people that were let go during the COVID budget cuts, air quotes budget cuts.
Budget cuts.
And then I guess
You
he
mean
was
the most profitable years of their existence?
the most profitable years of the company's history.
Oh,
God,
shit.
freaking
I
pile
hate
of
that
shit, dude.
It's absolutely the most infuriating fucking thing in the world.
But yeah, that's kind of a bummer. I love Eric Young. I forgot about him. I don't know why they're not
Young's
using him.
great, dude.
Maybe they'll use him at some point. That he was one of those dudes that I remember a bunch from early TNA, watching him and AJ and Samoa Joe and like all of those dudes. He was great.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I wanted to mention this, and I'll show the picture on the stream or on the video. But Logan Paul, that fucking photo on Twitter, where for some reason
Can't hold it.
they edited. Okay, so Logan Paul re-signed with WWE, and for some reason they took Logan Paul's contract photo from last year and they reposted it for this contract signing, but they photoshopped Stephanie McMahon out of the picture and for some reason made Logan Paul's jacket yellow instead of blue.
They made the jacket
And the Prime.
and the Prime bottle,
Which is
yellow.
weird because I don't think there's a yellow flavor of Prime, so that didn't make any sense to me.
It doesn't matter because they did both of those because they matched.
They
It would
match.
look weird.
Right. But I did notice that actually was not an official WWE tweet. That was Logan Paul's tweet. But that makes it a little less weird because I feel like it's just like, all right, I need a picture for social media. Can you guys edit this up? It's like, oh, what about Stephanie McMahon? She's not with the company anymore. He's like, yeah, you know what? Let's just cut her out of there just to be safe.
Hey, did we get that money from my supporters
go ahead and make
again?
my fucking jacket yellow, you know? You want me to make the drink
Go
yellow
ahead.
to match? Fuck it. Let's do it. Why not?
Hey, can we run this through the algorithm and turn this into an NFT? I think so. Fucking great, dude. I could sell it on my app. Oh, wait.
Oh, God.
I could sell it on someone else's app and make like $1 million. It'll be fucking
uh-huh.
great.
Oh, and one last little snippet of WWE related things was, you know, we had this kind of like this light build up for like the return of Hurt Business, and then there was just nothing happened.
Yeah, well, that's because nothing else gonna happen.
And it looks like they've abandoned it or scrapped it or whatever,
that's right, okay.
which doesn't mean, or which doesn't make any sense to me. Like, I feel like that would have been like the best way. You get like Bobby in there, Shelton, Cedric, MVP, Omos, throw them all together. Like, I feel like it's a great idea. Nobody has said that it was like scrapped or done. It was just that they've kind of abandoned it. Like, it's not, there's no plans for it as of this moment. So it looks like it was originally a planned thing and then it wasn't for whatever reason. I don't fucking know. Strange.
Well, that's because, you know, he's waiting out his contract, and next time around he's gonna be all elite. Bobby Lashley. That's what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
He's pissed off at everything. Actually, I would be okay with that. Can we just get Miro back? Because that's basically AEW Bobby Lashley.
Right.
Can we just get Miro back? Can somebody figure that the fuck out? Get his Bulgarian ass back to the fucking ring. Okay? I'm done with this shit, TK. I'm done with it, Tony.
All right, we have two AEW people who've been out for very different reasons that are supposedly going to be returning soon. The first one is Santana, who has been out for forever. his contract was apparently about to be up when he got injured, but Tony Khan he extended his contract and continued paying him the whole time that he was out for injury, which is pretty wild. So he's supposedly like going to be good to go here soon. So we could see him. You know, there was all those reports of him and Ortiz like feuding, but nobody could ever get like a confirmation on it. So I guess we'll see how that works out.
Last time I did hear about this, the last thing that I heard was that from, I can't remember who it was going in Raw or it was Figure 4.
Yeah.
I don't remember. One of the two. It was that they literally did have a falling out. They just didn't work out personally. It just got to they were friends for a while. It just got to a point where you just don't become friends anymore.
Right.
Or you just
Shit
become
happens.
friends. It's fine. I mean, exactly. So that sucks, and nobody wants to see the break because they were great tag team. They were fun. I liked them, but it is what it is. I just want them both to wrestle. They don't have to be a team. They don't have to be connected.
No, and I think Ortiz has done great as like solo dude and like working with various other people. It's been good.
He had a match against Eddie.
Yeah.
He and Eddie had a falling out, so that was fun. And now you get the falling out between all three of them.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
Triple threat. Throw him in there.
Yeah.
And the other person, Jeff Hardy. So Matt Hardy was, I don't know if it was his podcast or it was another one. He just straight up said that Jeff could be ready to go here in about like 6 to 8 weeks. He had that eye surgery, which I don't know if we talked about that last week or what, but there was a picture that went out of like a fan taking a picture.
We talked about it on the reaction.
Yeah, like there was a picture of Jeff, like a fan picture, and he had a fucked up eye, and apparently he had some kind of eye surgery. And apparently, according to Matt Hardy, after he's recovered from that eye surgery, he should be good to go to come back to AEW. And it's like
good. Stick him on dark for a little bit. Make him work from home.
Right. It's like unfortunate because again, just kind of like how we dealt with this Cody shit here. It's like I feel like that ship has now sailed, and that hype and momentum is gone. Like I'm still like, if they do tag team shit, I'm down to watch it. But like that hype that I had for that is gone.
Well, that's kind of one of those things that goes along with. I think that's been the storyline for AEW for me recently, is that there's been so many like highs from me being a fan of these guys before AEW and liking them, and then seeing the build and seeing all the people that they brought on. Other guys from WWE when they came up, when they got released and they got through with their non-competes, whatever.
Yeah.
Like that was really cool. We got Miro, we got Malachi Black. We got all these people. It's been fucking great.
Yeah.
But also, it's been full of the absolute biggest busts and like heartbreak when it comes to wrestling for me.
Yeah.
Because you get stuff like
we had so much just happen all at once.
Yeah. We had Jeff Hardy go from one to the other, get taken care of and like treated like a star, like he is. And Jeff Hardy did Jeff Hardy things.
He did what Jeff Hardy does, and that's
Jeff Hardy did what Jeff Hardy does, and it's self-destruct, and which is funny enough because I'm going to move into the other one, which is fucking CM Punk.
Yeah.
I want to throw up. Because it was so good for so long, and then it just was CM Punk did what CM Punk does. I'm sorry, no, it's not fair. Phil did what Phil does, and just got upset because he got hurt during a match and was pissed off because the 26-year-old cowboy said something to him.
And
I
feel like
the guy that wears pink rose fucking jeans. You're really gonna what? The man came out with a Dolly Parton t-shirt that was pink, which by the way was a banger t-shirt, but also, do you really take that man serious?
Was there not? I feel like there was something else along with that as well. Wasn't there another person or thing that happened?
I don't, people were talking in the back and telling people.
Well, yeah,
things.
but I mean, I thought there was like one more thing that fell through. Like, but I can't remember. I feel like there was three
No,
things.
it was because it was three things. He broke his foot, he lost the championship, he came back.
No, I'm not talking about him specifically. I'm talking about in general. Like we had the Jeff Hardy.
No, there's been other stuff
we had
too.
the CM
There's
Punk,
been Jeff
and
Hardy,
there
there's been CM Punk.
There was one more thing, I think.
Oh God, What else has been? I don't
There
know,
was
man. There's been
something
other
else, but I
stuff.
can't remember.
There's been something else major that I'm. Cody, for one.
Well, Cody was a little bit before that, but yeah, that's true.
Cody kind of
and was
starts
that-
the down.
Was that what also when we had all that just shitty TNT title like shit, where like it was just swapping back and forth, and then like
Yes.
Sammy had the title
my
like 3
God.
times, and then Scorpio
That was
Sky.
during the Dan. What's his name?
Yeah.
Oh, the fucking
Scorpio
Team
Sky
Alpha or
had
whatever.
the belt for like 2 weeks, and for some
American
reason,
Top Team. That's it.
yeah, for some reason they gave him like this fancy like gold and purple belt that looked sick, and then he had it for like less than a month. Like what? That was weird.
Scorpio Sky. It's part of his gimmick. He's from California. It was the Lakers.
I wonder if he paid for that. It's like, Tony, can I have a custom belt? I'll pay for it. He's like, fine. Whatever.
He probably did. It's not even a belt.
I
Like,
guess that
that's
would make
the thing.
more
It's like, if
sense.
you want a custom one, you're paying for it. Otherwise,
Right.
you just get the belt we fucking made. It's like, fine, I'll make mine Burberry because I'm gonna go to WWE in 2024. Never, not really. It's not gonna happen.
All right, everyone. Thanks for watching the video. If you have not subscribed to the channel, you should definitely do so. And like the video and all that, be sure to check out all the social links on the bottom. And if you want to check out the podcast on Spotify, you should do that as well. So that's going to do it. As usual, on Wednesdays, we will be watching AEW Dynamite and doing like a live react along with that. So you should be checking that out every Wednesday at 8 p.m.
See.
And I think that's going to do it. So anyways, thank you all for hanging out. Peace out. Take it easy. Have a good one. We'll see you guys next
Bye.
time.
Peace.